Hello, this is Freddy with FreddyCanFlyRC.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at the out-of-the-box review for the new Goblin 380. Obviously machine from the Goblin company, smaller class, highly anticipated. I'm pretty excited to have one on my bench. So let's take a look at the contents of the kit, and we'll also talk about some of the electronics that I've picked out that you do have to provide separate. Battery packs, we'll go over some of those details as well. So with that being said, let's go ahead and let's get into it. Okay guys, so taking a look at the contents here that I've got on the bench. Obviously, familiar packaging here. We've got the Goblin 380. This one has the yellow color scheme, but actually inside I believe is the red edition that they offer. So we'll take a look at some of those contents. Now, things that you'll have to purchase separately. Obviously, there's so many options out there in the world today. I'm going with basically what's most used and recommended, at least from a lot of the videos we've already seen. Going with the Contronics. I think it's pronounced Kobe ESC or Kobe, something along those lines. Okay. What is it? I believe 90 amp, somewhere around there. I'm not too familiar with Contronics ESCs yet. I've used them a few times and they seem to work really well. And then we've got the for the motor. I believe it's going to be the Mini Pyro, also made by Contronics. So this ought to be a pretty sweet little motor for this machine. It is going to be 6-cell, so we've went ahead and just got the Pulse. These are 1800 milliamp 45C packs. Really nice because they already come pre-soldered with your mini connectors on there. EC3s, I believe. And so we'll just have to solder one of those onto the lead of our motor. Going to go with, of course, the BK servos. We've got 3 for the Cyclics. And I believe these ones are the DS300, or actually 3001 HVs. So I can't see that there. The little blue ones. And then for the rudder, I've got the DS5005 HVs. Just one, of course. You don't need multiple. So that's what we're going to be running for servos. Let's get those over here to the side. I did already take my manual out of the kit, but just know right when you open the kit, this will be sitting right on top of everything. Let's get our ESC and everything out of the way here. Now, fly barless unit. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be using the AR7200BX Micro BeastX system. So if that's the case, you'll just want to provide an additional DSM2 or DSMX satellite based upon what radio you're using, of course. Or if you're using a different fly barless unit, go ahead and do so. So I'm going to go ahead and we'll put the camera on a tripod here, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at the contents of the kit. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's open her up, and let's see what we've got going on inside here. Now, as far as I understand, or from what I've researched here, this little miniature helicopter from SAB Division is supposed to have one of the fewest parts counts on a machine. I believe it was in like the 30s, 36, 38 total parts or something. So let's take a look here. So I'm just going to pull out the first little box here, this longer one. And what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to go ahead and set this to the side here. That way it's not in our way. And let's pop this little box open. I really like the way SAB packages their machines too. They just come very well packed. So looks like we're going to have the boom, of course, in this one. So this first box, we're going to have the blades, which are just absolutely awesome. They've got the SAB logo on top, but they also say SAB on the bottoms. That's actually pretty dang cool. I like the way those look. Tail boom. Pretty used to seeing these nowadays, you know, as far as with all the Goblins. So this tail boom's actually going to be a little bit different than on some of their other machines. So you've got the boom, of course. The push rod will go down the center of the boom. It doesn't look like we've got any paint defects or anything, so she looks really clean. But the end case on this is going to be a little different for the build, as far as the way the little cage and everything sits around it. So I'm pretty excited to see how that turns out. Pretty durable, pretty strong. Looks like a nicely made part. Got the tail blades in there. And they are... Ooh, are they plastic or are they carbon fiber? Let's take a look. Ooh, they're actually plastic tail blades, though. I was hoping for carbon fiber tail blades, so... I'm sure they do that for a reason, but I was kind of hoping for carbon fiber tail blades. And then I would assume this will be the tail push rod that's going to go down the boom. So, okay. Box number 1. Throw that to the side. And I'm just going to go ahead and grab the one directly underneath that box. Just a little bit heavier, so. Another elongated box. Let's pop this one open here. Oh, looks like this one is going to be full of all the hardware and parts, things like that. Let's take a look here. And we don't necessarily have to go through every single one of these. We'll just take a look at some that stand out to me. Obviously, your belt, you'll want to pre-inspect that thoroughly before installing it or operating it. The new motor mount style. Just a bunch of screws and bolts and parts. Actually, looks like there's quite a few here. Oh, battery trays. We can talk about that for a moment. I'm going to be using... I did go ahead and, this looks like this was an additional purchase, but the new Quick Connect battery tray system that they offer involves a little bit of a different soldering setup, and when you slide the pack in, it connects right away. So I'm going to be using that. You can purchase those as well if you choose. And so I'm going to go through this, and if we find any other parts that I feel like we need to talk about, I'll pull them out, and I'll get everything laid out here for us real quick. Okay, so we've got all the contents of that box out, and gosh, it seems crazy. I don't know if my eyes deceive me, but it seems like there's a lot of little bags in there for this to have such a low part count. And I don't know if when they specify parts, if they mean it, you know, by the balls that go in the swash plate, or if they just count the swash plate as one physical part. So I will say this, all the bags look to be very well labeled. Goblin builds are usually pretty easy, pretty straightforward. So the bags will be labeled. It'll probably be done in steps just from beginning to end. Not really a whole lot of parts that I feel like we have to talk about. It's all pretty self-explanatory. If you've ever done a Goblin build before, if it is your first one, they're pretty fun to build. You just basically follow the steps. So let's go ahead and pull out the little box over here on the side. And actually, I don't know if there's anything inside this one. Nope, this little box will be empty. It looks like this is just for packaging purposes. Okay, so nothing in there. Let's set that off to the side. Now we're going to take out the bigger box that says Heli Division on it, SAB Heli Division. I would assume this is probably just the canopy. Always really big on checking the canopies, guys, because nothing's more upsetting than when you receive it and it's already got damage to it. So let's take a look here. Our cool little blade holder, got that in there. Actually, I'll set that right up there. And let's see, let's pull the inner contents out first. And I'm going to set the canopy over to the side for just a quick second here. And okay, so framework. Looks like we've got our frames. Both left and right look like they're included, same bag. So we've got that. Looks like we get some little sticker decals and things like that for the tail. That's kind of cool. So we'll be able to have fun putting those on. They're newer style landing gear. Me personally, I kind of am not the biggest fan of the way they look. So once again, they do have an additional purchase you can make here for the 380 that'll resemble the older style landing gear. So I went ahead and got that, and it looks like it's got the cool stickers and stuff for them as well. Also a metal support bracket. So once again, an additional purchase you can make if you choose. I just like the way it looks better with those. And then we've got our bottom frame assembly here. And everything looks to be intact and in shape. Okay, so we've got that. So overall, that's basically everything you see on the bench. Is really all we need to construct the heli. So it does look like it's pretty low on parts. Let's take a look at the canopy here. And see what he's looking like. Very cool canopy. I do love the red themed canopy. Looks like their cutouts are nice and smooth. I'm not seeing any jagged edges. No defects in the paint. I don't see any stress cracks or anything like that. So looks like they're doing a pretty good job with their packaging and shipping. And actually, looks like these are Canopy painted canopies, so that's a big bonus. I really enjoy Canopy stuff. So overall, everything looks to be good. Looks like everything came in great shape. Upon further inspection, of course, it doesn't look like anything is going to need to be replaced or anything like that, which I don't expect with a Goblin kit in the first place. But yeah, just take your time, go ahead and read through the manual, get familiar with the machine. Like I said, as far as the building procedure go, it's just going to take you as an A to Z guide. You're just going to go step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way until you get done. With building the Goblin, I would recommend probably following the manual almost step by step. It's probably going to get you the easiest build end result, if you will. If you've built enough of them to where you're familiar with some of the different wiring, routing tricks and things like that, then obviously you're seasoned in that department, so you can go ahead and build it in any way you see fit. So manual looks pretty easy to read, pretty straightforward, and so that's essentially going to be it for the Goblin out of the box review, guys. I'm pretty happy with what I see so far. I can tell this is going to be a great little machine. Running on 6L with the mini pyro, I'm sure this thing's going to scare the hell out of me, even though it's a smaller size machine. So I hope this review was helpful for you guys as far as out of the box stuff goes. Sometimes it's nice to see what you're going to get before you buy it. That way you can decide if it's worth the purchase or not. So hopefully you enjoy the out of the boxes. If you do or if you don't, please leave me comments and let me know. That way we can either discontinue or continue making out of the box reviews. Thanks so much for visiting FreddyCanFlyRC.com, and remember, if Freddy can fly, so can you.